Hey, I'm Dr. Parks, and today we're going to be going through some exercises to help your low back pain. So I see a lot of patients have low back pain from like car accidents, falling off horses, just in the gym, moving wrong, or just even like woke up with a sore back. Even myself, I had history just falling in basketball, like hurting my back. So number one, we have a couch stretch. So it's to stretch the front of the hip and some of the quad. So a lot of times when you have you're sitting a lot, you have your hips tighten up. When the hip tighten up, your low back wants to tighten up in response to that. So we gotta release the hip so the low back can relax. So if you're just starting out, you can just be kneeling, say you have like an ottoman or something low. You can just hang out here and try to extend that front of the hip. If that's very easy, you can do the couch stretch. So you can have a couch or something low, even a chair, have a pillow down. So you can have your top foot up, just the top of your foot on the lip there, and then kneeling down, have your knee right under your hip. So have your hip pressed forward. You're gonna stretch out the front of your right hip down through the quad. So that's a couch stretch. Okay, for exercise number two. So first we stretch the front of the hip with the hip flexor stretch. Now I wanna get through that whole range that we created. So extend through that hip, we're gonna get a glute bridge. So we're gonna start off, that was the bench, not me. So we're gonna start off heels grazing the fingertips. I want you to press your lower back down into the pad, so keep your core tight, and then I want you to squeeze your butt, lift the hips all the way up, so you're extended through that hip, and then activating your glute and core. So make sure that you're not arching the back when you're coming up, so you should tuck your hips under the start, press your low back down into the mat, and then lift your hips from there. So we'll get try to work your way up to 20 reps. To start, you can get 10 if you feel like that's challenging for you. But the first one, stretch the front of the hip. Now we're extending through that hip, engaging the glutes to stabilize that back. Okay, exercise number three, we have a prone press up. So this is if you're having any herniated disc issues, or say you have a low back strain, this is good. If you have any stenosis or narrowing of the spine, this probably won't feel good for you, and don't do this. Check with your doctor or local healthcare professional before doing this. Okay, so you're gonna start off on your stomach, have your hands by your shoulders. Now you're gonna keep your hips pressed on the mat, so you're not coming up like that. That's like an upward dog in yoga. We're keeping the hips pressed down onto the mat as you press up. So you're gonna press up, hold for a few seconds, and then come back down. So press up, hold, and then come back down. So try to progressively work through that, get a little higher if you can, but get like 10 to 15 reps of that. So that is the prone press up. Okay, exercise number four, we have the leg lower. So this is just a core exercise. So we're gonna start on our back, and I want you to draw your knees up so that your knees are just above the hips. So I want you to press your low back into the mat. So make sure there's no space between your back and the floor. So for some, you'll feel the core engaging. This might be difficult just to hold. From here, if this is very easy for you, we're gonna lower the heels down towards the ground and then come back up. Now you see I have a block there. So this is progression number two. So keeping the back pressed, you can even have your hands pressed on the sides of your back to make sure your back is not coming up. So going down and coming back up, keeping the legs bent. So if that's not too bad, you can remove the block, go all the way down, and come back up. So keeping that back press, make sure you're not arching. So this would look like me doing it incorrectly. So keep that back pressed, lower the heels down, and then come back up. So you should feel it in the core. So that is the leg lower, working on the core for the low back exercise. Okay, now we have the last one, number five, the Superman. Okay, so we're gonna be on the stomach. I'm gonna have the arms out to the side. I know Superman flies like this, we'll be here. I want you to squeeze your butt, tighten the low back, lift your chest and legs off of the floor, and then come back down. So we just hold for a couple seconds. So you can do on an inhale, squeeze the butt, squeeze the low back, come up, and then come back down. You should feel your low back muscles tighten and your glutes contract. So I want you to get a couple inches off the floor with your chest and come back down. So try to get a couple sets, like 12 to 15 reps, but that'll help stabilize the low back. So we stretched out with the hips, got the glutes engaging, strengthening the core, and now for the low back. So you're getting everything moving, getting mobility back, and starting to strengthen around to help support and protect the back. So hopefully that helped. Those are the top 5 exercises for low back pain.